Salute, salute, salute. Bear with me, people. Bear with me, bear with me. Putting these contacts in. Gotta put them 6 eyes on people. Gotta put them 6 eyes on people. Just bear with me. Yo, people, when I tell you, putting this contact in is busting my chops right now, people. I kid you not. Kid you not. Never would have thought that a contact could put you through this much bourgeois. I think I got it now. I got it. I got it now. What's going on? What's going wrong? Talk to me nice. You don't talk to me at all. Thank you, everybody, for pulling up to this dope one. It's definitely gonna be a dope one. You had to get those eyes together, people. Had to get them eyes together. Sheesh. Them joints was fighting me. I ain't never had that much of a problem. And still got through the. This is why I be talking about my 6 eyes. Pamela, salute. Tavon Miller, salute. Uncle Ralph, salute. Asia, salute. Appreciate the pull up. R. Henny, salute. Appreciate the pull up. Yes, man. Truba 69, appreciate the pull up. Well, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Appreciate the patience. Definitely appreciate the patience. Y'all already know what this one is, people. This is gonna be a recap off the recap. You understand me? Like, you know, the big bro gonna come up here and talk his talk. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say too much. I definitely ain't gonna say too much. You know, I ain't gonna do that. We gonna let the bro come up here and talk his talk and let him do what he do. You understand? Because it's nasty. You know, it's nasty. Even with bro pulling up to have to explain, it's just nasty. But y'all know what it is though, man. Appreciate everybody for rocking out with your boy 050 Bucks, aka Mr. Shoot Right Back. Make sure when you come in the building, hit that like button, share the live. Make sure you go subscribe. Share the live, go subscribe. Share the live, go subscribe. Make sure you go to the community wall too, man. Check that merch out. It's dope. You know what I'm saying? People 212, yes, sir. We back. We back with it too. We back with the answers. You know, we back with the answers. You know what I mean? You know, the big bro gotta set some things straight and who to do it best. You know what I'm saying? Coming from the horse's mouth, who to do it best. NY Nikki Baby, salute. Appreciate the pull up, sis. Pamela, salute again. Y'all already Asia, salute again. Yeah, so you know, we gonna get down to, you know, like I said, this is be a spinoff of my last show. You know what I mean? Where it was an individual talked about by the name of Top Dollar, I think his name is, and someone that was a comrade of his, meaning a friend. You know, when they was in, you know, the belly of the beast. You dig what I mean? And he's gonna come up here and talk his talk on it. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely, you know, thank everybody who, for, you know what I mean, to pull up. Vic, salute, appreciate the pull up. You know what I'm saying? To come, you know, come get this double header, you know what I mean, from your boy, you know, Roski. You dig what I mean? And we just sit back and we go enjoy the show. That's a fact. Sit back and we go enjoy the show. You dig?
Let's get ready to rumble!
I'm about to be on some real content creating shit, B. Any nigga that ever came to my page and didn't give me no likes, didn't follow, didn't comment, or reshare any of my shit, is fucking blocked to me, B. You understand what the fuck I'm telling you right now? They're fucking blocked. I'm telling you, B. I feel naked out here, son. I don't know what to create. I don't know what to post. I want to leave the Instagram streets. But if I leave, all my followers still gonna love me, B.
Man, Phil, get your ass out of my goddamn Uber. What the hell is wrong with you?
Solution. Yes, sir. We have a dope show today. You understand? Wait for the big bro to pop up. Oh yeah, I forgot they didn't got Tricky on the stream yard, which is dope though. We ain't gotta go through all that. So, well, I guess you do. All right. I guess when you do it the first time, you ain't gotta do it no more. You dig? And that's what's up. Word up. That is what's up. Well, we about to have a nice one. Get a little more understanding on the situation. You know what I mean? Like we was, piggybacking off of earlier's conversation. When you have a comrade that, Ming, salute. Tavon, salute. When you have a comrade that that you went back to back with, in the field with, these are the things that, you wind up seeing yourself doing, where you gotta, pretty much break a situation down, not to say to clean your face, because 9 times out of 10 you ain't got to do that. I know the homie BV ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's just a sad situation that you got to do that though. You know what I mean? That's the bad situation of it. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely the bad situation of it all. It's definitely. You know what I mean? It's definitely a bad situation. And, I even will hope if you know what I mean? Because I like to talk mano a mano. You know what I'm saying? So even with that situation, just to get an understanding of, this ain't got nothing to do with no slander. It definitely ain't got nothing to do with no slander. You know what I'm saying? But it got everything to do with me knowing from another good dude that BV is a good dude. Then that's all I need. You know what I mean? And it's dudes like that always get caught up with the, you know what I mean? It's always dudes like that they get caught up with that. That's a fact. It's always the good ones, man. The ones that'll go to war for you, but in return they won't go to war for you. You know what I'm saying? You'll go to war for them, but they won't go to war for you. You know what I mean? They're I ain't talking about in the physical either. It could be in the mental and the spiritual, however. You know what I mean? But you'll make a decision and don't know that decision that you make will look bad on your comrade. You understand? It'll look bad on your comrade. So why put your comrade out there, or why put your comrade in a position where he has to explain, because it looks bad on your comrade, because your comrade put you in a situation, the way as though he made you feel like you something. You know what I mean? He did that. And then for him to, have to witness what he witnessed now, yeah, I'm sure that's not a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good feeling. You know what I mean? So, soon as the big bro, soon as the big bro come in the building, we gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? We gonna talk about it. That's a fact. But it's sad. And again, I'm not trying to tell you how to do and what you need to do for who you doing it for. But Ron from the BX salute, it shouldn't hold no merit to you coming on social media, discrediting dudes that once gave you orders that you followed. Come on. Come on. You still got to stand in line. That doesn't take, you know, they say certain things don't take from a real nigga. Like that shouldn't, you know, put you in a predicament of such. It just shouldn't. You know what I mean? And that's just a whole fact. It just shouldn't. You know what I mean? So, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, these are the things that we have to ask ourselves when we get caught up in these organizations. You know what I mean? Are you your brother's keeper? You know, blood in, blood out. Are you your brother's keeper? That's simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. Are you your brother's keeper? That, you know, and sometimes when we make these decisions, these are the outcome. This be the outcome, should I say. Jose, salute, my guy. This be the outcome, people. You know what I mean? It definitely be the outcome. And with that being said, I don't think nobody should have to set the record straight, should I say. You did? Like, no one should have to set the record straight. That should be something that whoever, I would say, is on the record shouldn't put that on, you know, on a comrade like that. Especially somebody who talk about they did this and they did that and they did this and they did that. Hey, listen, the research, I might have to agree. You know, a lot of people be taking credit for a lot of stuff, Jose. And they name don't be in no movies. Same thing, you know, like I heard, you know, and I'm not saying this because I don't want to be, what's the word, biased. You know what I'm saying? You know, my guys that I rock with, you know, they took shots, you know what I'm saying, at, you know, Mel Cross, 050, China Brim, they, you know, they went at it, you know, both of them was my guys. You know what I'm saying? And you know, at the end of the day, you know what I mean, that's something that I know that compared to this is nothing. Definitely is nothing. You know what I mean? But when you take shots at stand-up dudes, and I need to speak from hearsay, right? And the hearsay is credible. So you move on that. You know what I mean? You move on that. But anything else, it's non-cipher. Anything else is non-cipher. What make me be who I am, 050 Bucks, aka Mr. Shoot Right Back. I know I got guys that are, nah, Scrap, that ain't right, Scrap. RG, salute. You know what I mean? That ain't right, Scrap. And I'ma jack that because that's my guy and they do the same for me. I'm not gonna, and I stand on that. I'm not gonna be like, my name ain't gonna be drug around the day like it's, you know, all for all, free all, yo, that nigga Bucks, Bozo. Nah, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. You know what I mean? Because I got other guys that's thorough. Guys, that's thorough. That rock with me. And to hear them, yeah, that nigga, yeah, that taint on my name. But then you look at the guy who, yo, I rock with him. He's a thorough guy. Now you looking at that nigga like, how you rocking with this bozo? That'll never happen with Bucks at all. Never. Never, ever, ever. In Buccanism or they say, how can I finesse it? Buck history. Yeah. I like that. I like how that sound. Never in Buck history you gonna hear any chain on my name, man. On all angles. Yeah, it's a fact. On all angles. You know what I mean? I'm the best nigga who did it and got away with it, man. Trust me when I tell you this, man. But, you know, it ain't about me. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's how I move. That's what keep me sane. I'm not gonna do it. And a lot of dudes, they lost that. They lost that intuition. They lost that. They lost that, you know, yo. But it's a double-edged sword because, you know, I don't care what nobody said. Nah, I care about what people say about me. Hello? I care about what people say about me. Facts. And any man that don't, I don't know, they got a problem. They got a problem. That's just that. They got a problem. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just that. You know, to be honest, it ain't really no more to be said. Yeah, that's a fact, man. Buck history. You did? Not in Buck history, and you ain't gonna hear no slander on my name. Not ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. That's a fact. Yeah. So, you know, when you go down the line on these YouTube streets and you see, you know, a lot of the good dudes that came through, a lot of dudes who pit on, a lot of dudes who made it out, and they doing great in life. Come on, what you think about them dudes, man? You know what I'm saying? Them dudes is part of a situation where they put their all in, man. Dudes done went in with no time, man, and turned it into a lot of time for putting on. Like I said, I ain't never seen no servicemen come home and bash the army. Not in a gathering aspect anyway. I ain't never hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like I just never heard it. You know, oh yo, them dudes over in the army, man, they made us blow some people up. We ain't supposed to. Like I never heard that. You know what I'm saying? I never heard that. So, you know, to see it go down now in a manner the way is that, you know, we could talk about that too. You know, it's like you kick a nigga while they down. You know, the organization is on a spiral, so why kick it while it's on a spiral? You know what I'm saying? Why, like, why? That's something that you should hold. You know what I mean? You should hold that. You know what I'm saying? You should hold that. That's a whole fact. You should hold that. That's something that you should definitely hold, and you should definitely honor it. Because you take it for some good dudes who you know, who you take a lot of these dudes out here now, they won't do half of it. They won't do half. They won't do half. They won't do half. I just give you an example and just name one movie. Was I there? No. But check the story out. And soon as the homie pull up, he can tell the best for himself. But you take dudes and you just use them as an example, right? Check it. You behind the wall, right? And this is all in the name of love or Ola, right? So you behind the wall, it's bad enough you getting oppressed, right? And you see your comrade having some complaints about getting oppressed and getting dealt dirty and like in and the most unimaginable thing, people. Trying to put something in the food and, you know, and you have your comrade come to your aid. Where your comrade puts in work. You don't get that. You won't get that now. Not of these new era, you know, you ain't getting that. So to see, you know, a guy like the dude Top Dollar come up here, and it's not on what he did. He did what he did. It is what it is. But the slander aspect of it, you know, try to take from what a person busts his chops for, even down to the name. You got to stand on something. You know, it's kind of like a substitute for your word. Your word be bond. All you got in this world is your word and your balls. You know, as they would say. But that name will be a substitute for that. Because you're only known for what they call you. Just being honest. You're only known for what they call you. You dig? So, you know, at the end of it, you know what I'm saying? It just, it's just sad because it's the people that say, yo, yeah, I was this and I was top shot, I was the top caller, and you was all of that, but you come out here in the free world and then you move like you ain't got that in your DNA. You move like you ain't got that in your DNA. You dig? You move like you ain't got that in your DNA. Sad. I mean, stand on something. You stood on the stand, nigga. Why you can't stand on you stood on the stand, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah. You dig? Hold on, people. Yeah, pardon me, people. Pardon me, people. Skin and bones. Salute. Appreciate the pull up. Yeah, we about to get into it. We about to get into it. We definitely about to get into it. Sequoia, salute. Appreciate the pull up. We about to get into it. My God, about to pull up in a minute. You already, Tavon. You done know. That's a fact. You know what I mean, Tavon? You know, sometimes that's all we got. You know what I'm saying? That's all we got sometimes. Sometimes that's all we got. You understand what I'm saying? Like I know some dudes got names that's it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to run away from it, but that's who you are. Even if put a bad reputation on you, but that's who you are though. You know what I mean? That's who you are. That's a whole fact. That's who you are. Salute to the big bro. The big bro's in the building. BV was Papino.
Salute, Papino.
You already know though. Ain't nothing, man. I see you laid back in the Maybach. Got that dope polo on. I see you.
I seen the call, and I seen the text message. I was in the supermarket and all that, getting them groceries to the crib and all that, man.
Oh, all right, got me.
I
I
see
see what
everything
that.
come through my phone. Just like everybody else, I don't choose to answer a lot, but yeah.
That's a
It's
fact.
good,
See
though,
you with
bro.
that low on. See you with that low on. See that big low on. So it's the word. What's good, man? Talk to the people. He having it probably a little difficult right now in the area he in right now. So bear with it. Bear with it. Bear with it. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's about to be a dope one. You know what I'm saying? It's sad it had to be this kind of one, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? But the moral of the story, being though now the big bro pulled up, you ain't getting too many guys that's gonna go out for their comrade, man. I mean, it's just not going down right now like that, man. Worst case scenario, but they definitely tell on them though. They definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? They definitely tell on them. Nasty. You know what I'm saying? Nasty. You dig? So, and that's just what it's about, man. And it ain't the only one. He ain't the only one. You have a lot of other guys, man, that tarnish the brand. Don't tarnish the brand. Tarnish your name. Don't tarnish the brand. And that's my take on it. Tarnish your name. Don't tarnish the brand. Let the brand keep branded. You know what I mean? That's the best way to put that. Let the brand keep branded. You know what I mean? Once you get caught up in the, oh yeah, this one ain't that, like, who are to slander somebody's name, and you wouldn't have did that in the physical. You wouldn't have did that in the physical. That's a fact. You wouldn't have did that in the physical. You know what I mean? So why put your family or whoever? Why even put them in jeopardy in that manner? For what? What you got to gain out of that? What you got to gain? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you talking about people who probably demise what you have, which is freedom. But yet you out and about, and instead of you helping these guys who probably help you get through your bid, you probably not even one of them. You probably not even none of them, you know what I mean, that's reaching out. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, Top, you think that shit cute, Top Shot? That shit ain't cute. You should want somebody to want to build with you. You should want somebody to want to rock, Top. You don't want to. Why you want to run nobody off? Top Shot ran Bad Vibe off, people. You know what I'm saying, Top Shot? You want to run with that narrative? Let's go. Top Shot then ran Bad Vibes off, people. He done messed up the whole powwow. Top Shot messed the whole powwow up, people. Yeah. Top Shot, you something else, man. You done messed up the show. Top Shot done messed up the show. Yo, Top, that was wild earlier, Top. You took your ball and ran with your ball. Oh, I can't, y'all ain't pick me, or I'm leaving. That's what you did earlier, Top. Ran in the chat and stuff. Yo, you was in your bag, Top, earlier. Emotional damage. Top was in his bag. But yeah, people, man, you know what I mean? Just know and understand when you when you're dealing with an organization as such, just think about the comrades, man. You know what I'm saying? Think about the comrades, man. You know what I mean? Don't slander them, go help them. You know what I mean? Especially, banners that you was under and dudes, because let's not front dudes name pop. You know what I mean? They under that banner that's in the loop. The name of the banner itself is gonna pop. All you gotta do is just answer that call when that shit ring. Answer, you know what I mean? That's it. That's all you gotta do. But other than that, you better act accordingly. Facts. You better act accordingly. Because if you don't act accordingly, it's sorry tomorrow. Word up. It is sorry tomorrow. And dudes don't be understanding that. Dudes be out here moving wacky and they don't be understanding the repercussion. They don't understand. It's like my mom used to always tell me, boy, don't embarrass me in these streets. And I ain't got to be with you. You understand? At young, man, Mom Dukes dropped that jewel on a nigga. Don't embarrass me in the street, nigga. Uncles, yo, nigga, you better keep that name in check, nigga. Like, yeah, you ain't what I look like. I be feeling sorry for like people be having, like, cause I know, yeah. Or for you to come up here, talk down on some good dudes, because you did bad. That shit that ain't cool. You know what I mean? That ain't cool. Because you got dudes, you know what I mean? You got dudes who really put themselves in some tough situations, man, dealing with that organization, man. Yeah, that's a fact. You got some dudes that they put themselves in some tough situations. Word up. Oh, now we know that he feel like that because he say every time he pull up, dudes don't want to be they what I mean, they don't want him involved. You know what I mean? Now that was a joke. All right, as soon as you get situated, you already, man. We here. That's a fact. We here. As soon as you get situated, we here. Yeah, Top was just making a joke. Yeah, Top was making a joke. You got to get it together. You got to get it together, Top. You know what I'm saying? You got to get it together, Top. Yo, see, look at Top Shot. That's your boy too, Agent. That's Agent Peoples. Agent be talking to Top Shot or the phone and all that. He ain't tell, hey, yo, Agent, he ain't tell you on the phone? He ain't tell you what happened on the phone? Yo, Agent, stop fronting. I thought you said you be talking to Top Shot on the phone. Oh no, on Instagram. You said you be talking to Top Shot on Instagram. Stop it. Stop it, Five. What Top Shot talking about, man? Top Shot always want to be. Let me find out, Top Shot. Top Shot. Let me find out you a YouTube groupie, Top Shot. Let me find out, Top. Let me find out Top is a YouTube groupie. You went over there on that man panel. You went over there on that man panel, Top, and you got disrespectful, and he told you about yourself. All right, my Yankees up 9-7. Word, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks. Y'all be tight. Even last night, my Knicks, man, it's been having me tight. What? What are you talking about, Top? I ain't looking for nothing. I ain't looking for nothing, Top. You sold me a dream the other day, Top. You told me to drop my Cash App. I dropped my Cash App. You ain't send nothing. What do you want my Cash App for, nigga? I was confused, but I went along with the plan. Laughs on me, he. Laugh on me, Top. You know what I'm saying? But for further reference, Top, if you ever want to, feel like donating, it's right there across the screen. You see it? You see that, Top? Oh man, Top, you for real too. Top, dead serious. NoBueno.com, Top. All right, copy. 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 Top dead wrong for that. Top dead wrong for that. That's how Top is in real life too. He one of them people. Oh, yo, yeah. Do this, Let me see you jump that fence for $1. That's Top. Top, have a nigga jumping the fence for $1. What's wrong with him? Locks ass salute. Appreciate the pull up. Yeah, people. So we gonna have a dope one, man. Y'all already know. Y'all tuned into my show earlier. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about rats running wild, man. You know what I'm saying? So we got a situation now where we got a rat out here running wild by the name of Top Dollar. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't speak from a slander view. We spoke from a view on, how he made his comrades and how he denounced his comrades and how he throw his comrades underneath the bus and make good comrades like Bad Vibez that dealt with him. That was his comrade. He was under Bad Vibe hood. And, people could look at Bad Vibe like, yo, my nigga, how you ain't never see this in this dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, so, he coming up to talk his talk, which to me, that's the sad part about it. You know what I mean? Because you did what you did. You know what I mean? That's your tale, you tell. You did? I ain't got to tell that tale. I'm Groovy Louie all the way through. So, for him to kind of, it's like, yo, that's your man. Like, how you, yo, BV, what up? And we go, and don't be afraid to ask your questions in the chat. I definitely ask them. You know what I'm saying? I definitely throw it at him. I definitely throw it at him, man. Yeah, that's a fact. Rats running wild. That's the show earlier, man. They running wild, man. And then, these are some bold joint. Nah, BV. Nah. I take it in stride like this only when I heard your name was attached, Vibe, and you know, I'm a real one. So me knowing your body of work, no Roski, it's like, yo, like, wow. You know what I mean? For him to be up here throwing dudes underneath, names underneath the bus, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you got a real one, man, that, you know, people can, you know, if you ain't solidified the way you solidify, Vibe, a person will look at you like, yo, what's up? This your man. So I'm speaking from that angle of it, like how you just, you know what I mean? You leave people to question, you know, because how about if you wasn't nobody, VB? You know what I mean? Part self, BV. How about if you wasn't nobody? Nigga be running down on you. Yo, what up? Yeah, you brought that nigga home and blah, blah, blah. That nigga's a rat. Niggas be dragging your name. You know what I mean? If you wasn't a solidified, you know what I'm saying, you know, OG, you know what I'm saying, because you are an OG, you dig? They would have been dragging you, man. And it's sad because when you got dudes that just have no remorse for that. You know, no thought of that. Like, yo, nah, you know what? You know, this is my Gaza. You know, they just doing what they doing. Yo, you know what? I'm going to get and do this because I feel like this is the best move for me. It ain't nothing wrong with that. I can't speak on him on that. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak him on it, but I could just speak on how I see he approach his situation. And it's like, wow, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And then they like, yeah, that was BV. You know what I mean? That he was in BV hood, and boom, 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 you brought him home and all that. I'm like, wow, not BV. So I know dude gotta have some militants in him. He got to. I mean, I could be wrong. That's why you here. You know what I mean? To clear it up, Bob. I mean, you know, for Bob, for you to rock with him, right? It got to be a story behind it, man. You know what I'm saying? Mel Cross said he ain't never heard a boy doing nothing, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you don't get up here, you know, after you just said you didn't write it on somebody who you once took orders from. That's not a good look. You know what I'm saying, BB? That's not a good look. Like, I don't care how you look at it, how you know, that's not a good look. I don't even care if you throw it on auto-tune. It's not a good look. It's a fact. It's not a good look. Yeah, that's a fact. You know what I mean? It's a fact. But that's nobueno.com, man. You know, nobueno.com, man. You know what I mean? And, you know, it is what it is, though. You know what I mean? But I like to know that. Like, yo, do you feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, comrades that you was rocking with behind the wall. You know what I'm saying? What you think, how they feel? You know what I mean? We done with, you know, you did what you did. We over that. Now, when you sit down in that, you know what I mean, that me time, that me space, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think about the comrades and you be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't got to bother you. Come on, I mean, you know, I like to know that though. Like that's the thing that really, you know, I ask Top Dollar, like, yo, you know, out of all this, like, do you ever just sit back and just like, wow, you know, now even if it ain't about the gang or the organization, just, you know, some real good thorough dudes you met in your travel, you know, that kind of like either looked up to you, you know, looked up at you, however, and to be like, hey, you know, I got turned out to be this. It's nasty work. Word, it's just nasty work, man. You know what I mean? But, you know, like I said, he got to live in his truth. You know what I mean? I ain't on his body. He got to live on his truth. You know what I mean? It's bigger than me. You know what I mean? I just don't understand. You know, when I say this, you know, we know he ain't on no Sammy the Bull level and all that. We know all that already. He ain't on that level. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that part, like, come on, man. Got to get it right. Yeah, that's a fact, Jose. But you know, the rebuttal will be, oh, well, you know, they was doing this and they was misleading and yeah, but I'm sure you knew that. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Meow, salute my guys. I'm sure that, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you knew that. You know what I mean? In the Megan, I'm sure you knew that, man. You know what I mean? You knew. So, you know, if you know better, you'll do better. You know, so you got to hold yourself accountable. You know what I mean? That's what you should do. And that was an accountable move. And again, I'm not the one to tell you what was right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking from that. You know what I mean? That part. You know what I mean? You know, you moving and grooving and you know, you shaking and baking. You know what I'm saying? Pamela, salute. Yeah, ain't nobody right, Jose. That's a fact. Ain't nobody, that's a fact. Ain't nobody telling me that. Because you could have easily said what you're not gonna do. You know what I mean? You could easily say what you're not gonna do. You could easily say what you're not gonna do. You know what I mean? You had that you had that. You could have done that. And then I guess how you explained the situation, you know, you had the upper hand. You know what I mean? Yo, I need you to bloom, bloom, bloom. Yo, homie, at the end of the day, boom, and that's just that. Hello. You know? So it might be safe to say homie probably had that in his heart already. Well, my bad now, homie. You know what I mean? But boy had that in his heart already to do. You know, boy had that in him already. You know, but I guess my mama used to say, take your time, young man. My mama used to say, sidebar, sidebar. You do the crime, you do the time. Sidebar, sidebar. You come on. You do the crime, you do the time, man. You know, Cross said it the best earlier. You knew what you did, you knew what you was into. Whole lot. Facts, whole lot. Word, whole lot. Cause all that other, you're showing weak men capabilities, man. Word, weak men capabilities. You groovy now?
Yeah. I can talk now. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Now I ain't know. Now
Yeah.
I ain't know this topic nothing. But you know, I mean, you tell me, am I right or wrong, Bob?
Nah,
This your show.
I was I got an active life, so yeah, it's brought me to the chat to you too. I was just coming from the supermarket, had dropped the groceries. Then they got my kids running around, so I can really talk and quiet and really focus on what I need to say and all that. But yeah, man. Like I said earlier, like I typed in the chat, it's not too much I can say about what he did. And I know he in the chat listening and watching too. It's not nothing I got bad to say about him other than what he did to himself, you heard? But he wasn't a bad soldier in the field, bro. Even though like right now, after what he did, you know, it looks bad. You know what I'm saying? And like I know him, like seriously for a long time and shit. But no, I didn't bring him home. I didn't bring him home. What happened was with the second generation, when they gave me that hood or Mastone, I inherited him and had to create the lineup and set up my structure, you heard? When
Right,
S and them did what they did. But yeah, he I can't say he was ever disloyal to me, bro. Like what he did with Lie and how he felt in the Lie leadership and what he did as a result of being that, nah, but at the end of the day, he is what he made himself. That ain't for me to speak to or speak of nothing. Of course I know what's going on. And I know him, yeah.
right. So
Right.
do that make you feel like at any time did you say to yourself like, damn, what did I miss? Like how I didn't see the boy had this in him then? Is that safe to say that?
No, what I can honestly answer that is if you asking me when I was mad stoned, and at that climax, at the time I was a young big homie, you heard? Nah, it wouldn't have been surprising to me, bro. Yeah. Today, nah, it would have been surprising because I know a lot more than what he said and what he said and what he's saying. Yeah.
Right.
But nah, that wouldn't be surprising. The life I choose to live or once live and plan, I don't put that past nobody, son. I know pressure. I've been knew when I was a little dude before I got in trouble with the law. I've been knew pressure bust pipes, bro. But I ain't here to speak to that. He did what he did. It's a
And he
lot of
got to
people
live in his
doing
own
that.
truth. Yeah, he got. That's
Exactly.
why I said.
So right, that ain't no shade on me. Even if the person who did bring him home, they no shade really on them that he turned out the way he was, yeah. And if you
Right.
look at the climate, your Bucks, if you look at how it is out here, the momentum, the activity, the popularity, son, to be a snitch out here is like that don't mean nothing to a lot of people out here, bro. It don't, son. I'm not saying that's what I am or I'll become or I would adapt to that, but that label ain't about nothing. Like what him and Kai and niggas doing and Charleston White tit snitch and he run around saying if you want your pockets to swell, tell. If you want to get rich, snitch. Yo, bro, that ain't saying nothing. That's why you see how I live and how I move, bro. I'm not with none of that. So I'm not trying to conform to the new world, even though I live in a new world.
Right.
I ain't
Right.
with none of that, son.
That's
And
a
you ain't gonna
fact.
find my name on no paperwork. Nobody said anything about I ever said anything or nothing to nobody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I can't knock it for how they turned out, bro.
Right. You can't knock them, but I got to be real and
No,
say, let's just keep it
I
real,
don't
though,
like.
B. Yo, BV,
I
keep
don't
it
like what he
real. If
did.
you wasn't, check
Yeah,
it out. If you wasn't BV, right? Let's take, you ain't BV, you ain't
yeah.
popping, you ain't put it in, and you did a situation and you gave him a little status. Y'all was rocking back then, and then now they disrespecting you just as okay. Well, you had a little status and you gave somebody else a little opportunity to shine. They like, hey, yo, my God, how you ain't see that back then in this dude?
No, it's the same thing with parenting, bro. You know that you got kids. People in the chat got kids. It don't matter how you raise up a kid. A kid gonna be who they want to be. Yeah. I can't really take that and say, okay, did I see evidence of that? No, I'm not surprised by none of that. That motherfuckers decide to get weak and fold, and I do know pressure bust pipes. A lot of people can't withstand no pressure, bro. Of course, and if you ask me directly, do I feel some type of way about that? Yeah, wanna know why? Because I know him, and I know La, and I know a lot of players on that team. I don't want to see them clash like that, or shit to go like that. If anything, everybody should went down together. Yeah? If you play the part, we all go down together. They don't play no part, and then I'm a snitch to get out of shit and all that. But I said that to say this though, Bucks. Today out here, you know what I'm saying? People know what I'm saying in chat, son. That's not really no blemish on a nigga background, son. And Top Dollar said the same thing. Kai said the same thing. Charleston White said I could keep going down the line there. Woody, little Woody down here in Atlanta, that little fucking dude. Son, it ain't no blemish to be a rat today. Even though that's not something I would love to be or would aspire to be. You heard? Not telling
Right.
on nobody. Mhm.
Facts. So just thinking outside the box, if you could have a sit down with your guy Top Dollar, like how would the conversation go? Like what kind of being in the space you in right now?
I don't.
What kind of
All
jewels
right.
will you drop on him? Because I'm sure
Ain't
he
no Jews
respect
too.
you.
Yeah, of course he still do. I mean, every time he go live or he speak or he mention me, like this ain't no fake shit or nothing. He gonna come up with tomorrow and has something foul to say about me or nothing. Just like right now, I don't got nothing bad to say about him. I honestly don't have nothing bad to say about him other than what he did to himself. You heard? Know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
But my nigga, it's like, damn, son. I mean, certain things is not for everybody. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
And that's how it is today, son. That's before we even got released and put out here in the society. This is the world that they created out here, my nigga. Nah, it
right.
ain't.
But
He's a
like you
snitch.
said though, we ain't got to live in it though. B, we ain't got to
No, I
live
don't.
in it. We know
No, you
that
don't.
this is what's going on, but we don't got to live in it. And then when you
No,
come from a stature of that such, like, come on, BB, like how many people that you could count on your hands that put on and made movies and was able to make it out on the street in a good honor as a man standing on law to let
A lot,
somebody that's
a lot. I know a lot.
right,
Again, that's they ain't telling, they not squealing, they not
ex-
doing none of that shit.
right,
Like I
exactly,
said, it is upsetting. I mean, it's upsetting, but that don't mean. Let me get back to the question. First of all, if I was to sit him down, I would not tell him nothing illegally, illegal, or possibly a illegal thought I got. I wouldn't release none of that to him because I know he's gonna tell.
right.
Yo, you crazy laughing? This nigga died. Nigga buck crack. I wouldn't say none
Yo,
of that.
you wicked,
Everything
man.
with him, everything with him would be strictly like basic. Yo, what's up? How you been doing? What you drinking? All that bull.
Well,
And
you
then
know
he's
what
not
I'm
going on
saying,
with me.
yo, BV. You already know how you doing, nigga. Like, you don't think that's a little sarcasm? That's a little bit of sarcasm.
Mm,
How you doing?
no,
What you mean, nigga?
no.
He on trains and all that with binoculars on, talking about what he gonna do to niggas. I seen him at the precinct. I was on the train. I seen him like, yo, is this
I
true?
seen
I
that.
do want to know this though. Do he really got dreads, or that's a disguise?
Nah, he got dread. He was growing locks out when I was growing locks out. This is
Oh,
like y'all
I
talking about 17, 18. And all
You
that.
said
But yeah,
what? You went in and out.
yeah, definitely wrong. Now, so I got a call.
Oh, yeah,
But yeah, that's it. That's his hair. Cause I cut my joints down past my buttocks and all that.
right.
That shit was
Facts.
a little bit
Okay.
too long. But yeah, that's his hair.
All right.
Like I know him. We know him by Mumia Stone, Top
Right.
Dollar or Mumia Stone. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask something too, like with the shots he was taking at a lot of the big homies. That's just how he felt about them. You heard? A lot of that shit ain't no lies, bro. And I'm not gonna sit here and really dot. Not tonight, maybe tomorrow, or another time, next time we came up. But a lot of shit he said about a lot of older big homies from that first generation. Well, I'm just here to say he knows, bro.
Right.
Then you can look at him and tell he's not sitting there in the booth capping. And then he been around, son. You
Right.
know, he been
Okay.
around. So
But wouldn't that make it a little worse though? Because he should know
yes, it does.
what dude's been
Yeah,
through. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. But yo, Bucks, we gotta realize something. Stop holding people to certain expectations, my nigga. You heard?
Yeah.
People gonna be who they wanna be, not who we remember them to be. You heard?
Facts.
Let that
Facts.
shit like that ain't it. Like prejudging and pre like nah, you can't do that. At least I can. I don't do that in life right there. Because I know people I knew from 40 years ago, right? They're not the same today on no aspect of life, yeah? And
Facts.
you gotta know how to relate and switch to get with the tune or the momentum, bro. Yeah, I don't like that shit that he went out. Now he go down in the book like the rest of them, yeah? Like Cat and all the rest. I don't like hearing shit like that, yeah. Because it's like that's something that my nigga ain't nobody never gonna hear that on YouTube. It could be 10 years from now. Like my shit gonna be impeccable. So I ain't never did no shit like that. I ain't never believed in nothing like that. I'd have been in tight situation probably just like him too. You heard with my back against the wall, I took my time and did my time and did what I had to do. You heard? Like I ain't bringing the shit down with me. You know what I'm saying? No.
Facts. 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 But all right, so speaking on that, you dig? Like, see, this is one of my reasons why I could tack it in another angle for guys like you. Now, you break down one of your comrade movies, and what I mean by that is you ain't going out for you. You went out for your comrade. You see, that's what make me like how you said where I may have a problem with where I hold
The movie
people
he
accountable. So talk
yeah.
on it, man. They
I
gotta
got a
know, man.
problem with a lot of shit. I got a Yeah, I got a lot of problem. I got a problem with a couple things that Top Dollar said. Like we talked about that movie with me in City, right? Son, this the way he ended it was like, yo, imagine being put on a wall and niggas clap you because you a nigga tried to pass you a razor and make you a part of his case, bro. That wasn't even a situation. Nigga, that was a hoop ride, you heard? It's just that I ain't decided to use the homies and I took it. I did it, you heard? But it wasn't like a situation where City didn't want to. City froze up on that bus, you heard? And he gave them the razor and they gave me the case, you heard? After I bucked something. But it wasn't like his back was against the wall and he had no choice. At the time, City was sitting pretty on the lineup, you heard? And I was like, yo, we gonna make a movie together. You know how it was back in the days, but
Right,
certain
right,
motherfuckers would pair together and make movies and be the Batman and Robin of the show. You hear me? That's
right.
what
That's a
that was.
fact.
This City couldn't ride with me, bro. That was it. You know what I'm
See,
saying?
that's what I'm
So you
saying. See, but when you hear things like that, that shit just can't go doormat though, BV. Come on, man. Come on.
nah, nah,
Come on, Bobby.
nah, yeah.
I know the passion that you got, Bob, and that cannot sit well and you just be like, man, come on. He should never make you second guess what you did. Because whatever you did, it was for a reason. You lived through it. It made you stronger. And to hear somebody chop that down, knowing how you wear your heart on your sleeve, that
Yeah.
that can't be cool.
Nah, it just showed me that he basically he misspoke and where he paraphrased it because my nigga, that ain't had nothing to do with him. Like he was just an innocent bystander, and I smoked somebody, and then I ran and threw him the thing. Here, take it, put it up. Nah, nigga, you knew 2 hours before I smoked the nigga. While I was getting in preparation to do it, you knew that when we was on the draft bus, you heard? Nigga, you knew when we was chained and all that, and we was walking out the fucking draft room and downstate, and I seen that E-Ricket, that enemy. You know what time it is with me, son. I'm gonna run him down and I'm gonna gun him down. You knew that. You ain't had to figure that out, you heard? And you wanted to participate. That's what City position was. He wanted to jump in the movie with me and my co-star, you heard? It's
That's a
that when the smoke hit, he ran. He ain't hold his end up, you heard?
that's a
I
fact.
got an extra I got extra time.
You went out again. Your joint went out. Oh, you got a phone call. Yeah, you see, I'm saying I'm not the only one tripping people. You know what I'm saying? Like when you wear your heart on your
Nah.
sleeve, you know, there's certain things. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, what you were saying? You said
No,
you
it's not
got time
somebody's
for
calling
what?
my phone again. Nah, I say, yo, I got more time for that as a result of that case. That's why when he spoke about it, I'm like, damn, he probably do realize that I got extra jail time behind that case, yeah, fucking around
Right.
on that bus and shit. All because the homie let the police get the weapon, yeah. And shit. I
Right.
ain't never been caught in no situation. I ain't never been caught in a situation before then or after, yeah, on some shit like
Yeah.
that.
And look what happened. Somebody that wanted to be part of the movie that didn't have to be a part of it.
Yeah, I stayed in
Look
jail an
what you
extra five
sacrificed.
years too. Yeah, I stayed
Yeah,
in
look at
jail an
that.
extra 5 years.
You see what I'm saying? Look at
Extra
that.
5 years for the movement. But yo, Bucks, man, let me get back in traffic. I got my people waiting. I gotta jump back in this V. Is it
That's a fact.
noisy?
Hey, that's a
Yo,
fact. Yeah.
yo, anytime,
That's
anytime,
a,
I'll be back up here, man.
that's a fact. You
Anytime.
already, man. Appreciate that, BV.
You already know, definitely. A major salute and salute to the chat, man. Everything healthy over
Copy.
here, bro. You heard?
You already.
Safety.
That's a fact. Safety all the
Mm.
time. Yo, man. It's it's people go, they go, say what they say. You know what I'm saying? But the moral of the story, people, is that, sometime, man, don't taint the brand, man. You didn't see that, heard that man 5 joints extra for something that he spoke upon, and it's like, yo, come on, I put that in for a reason, not a season. And for you to taint that, and you got an extra 5 piece, all in the love of gang. Come on. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And me knowing BV, he wears heart on his sleeve. So whatever he is, that's why I said he went around it. He danced around it a little bit. Because when you moving accordingly, as such as, what I know BV to move, you already probably, oh boy, look like a soldier. Oh boy, look like you gonna hold it down. So somewhere you gonna kind of like, because I don't think a person wake up and just say, yo, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I think they have that in them already. They just wait for the moment to bring it out. So for you to be in the stature of BV, and it's like, all right, cool. Now you got your own situation. Now you looking, you know how that go too. You know what I mean? Sword swap, sharp and sword. I need the meanest lineup. I need my lineup to pop. When you bring a dude like that in, he's in, and you know what I mean, and you like, all right, cool. And you get the comrading. You know what I'm saying? Now you're comrade. So now you're comrade. Now, yo, listen, this is what we gonna do. Blah, blah, blah. It's like how you explained. Dude wasn't a part of the movie, but he wanted to be a part of the movie. Then when it was time for lights, camera, action, he was out of there. You understand? So that would be the first time, the homie BV got caught up in, you know what I mean? So that gotta make sense of that. And sometimes that happen in real life. You say I move this way, then one way you rock out with somebody and you're like, yo, yeah, what up? Boop, boop, yeah, yo, come ride with me. Now you done this ride a million times. They got you where you want to, got you, watch your movies. You get back on where you need to get back on, and then you bump into this whole new situation. You bring somebody along, and boom, it derails you from what you usually do, and boom, here you go, whoop, whoop. You like, wow, yo, I knew I should have just came by myself. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just, it's something to definitely, really think about when you're dealing with anybody. You understand? Anybody but a dead body. You have to, let this, play back in your mind, man. Before you do anything that you feel is not comfortable, don't do it. If you feel like you're not built for that, don't do it. And that's on anything. Don't put yourself in that predicament. Period. And you ain't got to worry about repercussion. You understand? You ain't got to worry about going out bad or good. You ain't gonna put yourself in that position. You know what I'm saying? Sound like my guy, right? When Shorty like, yeah, that nigga be lying. Every time you say, you know what I'm saying? Nigga be lying. Nah, but real talk though, people, man. Like, and it ain't nothing wrong with, like BB said, holding somebody, like you say, yeah, that's my guy, and I'm gonna hold him to the same thing. Because people do change. They change. But at the end of the day, don't put a person in a situation where they got to change on you. You see what I'm saying? I ain't say you know what I'm saying. I said you see what I'm saying. Yeah, but don't, you know what I mean? Don't do that. Grown man thoughts, salute my guys around from the BX, salute, skin and bone, salute, Ming, salute, appreciate the pull up, Pamela, salute, appreciate the pull up. That's a fact. Asia already know. Appreciate the pull up hoodies up. What's Papino hoodies? What it do with you, man? Your man hoodies up. What's your man over there doing? Your man hoodies up. Lock size. Appreciate the pull up. Top dollar Mike is bigger than the Stevie Wonders. I don't know what that means. RG, appreciate the pull up, man. No, I hope y'all hit that like button, people. Share the live out. Hit that subscribe button. You understand? I'm trying to get to the link. Mr. Meow, appreciate the pull up, man. That's a fact. G Mac, you already 050 be the movement. The only thing moving. Appreciate the pull up. With NY Nikki baby, drop the homie link and all that. Make sure y'all go tune in to Bad Vibez. He do his own little situation. Go tune in. You know what I mean? Go show some love. It's a good dude. Stand on law. And he about his business, man. That's a whole fact. Now make sure y'all go tune into that. I don't know, Asia, if you can. Yeah, we definitely gonna get that. Because I wanna, I think he need his bars. You know what I mean? I think he definitely need his bars. I don't really hear too much of BV, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? It's always a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely want to be the one. You know what I mean? Where if you don't know, you will know. You dig? Hey, yo, Asia, if you can, drop his link in the chat, man. Make sure y'all go holler at the big bro, man. You know what I mean? That's a fact. Make sure y'all go holler at the big bro. You dig? Definitely a dope person. You'll run into a dark alleyway with no weapons, man. You ain't got to worry about him running. That's a whole fact. You understand? Word up. But we had another great one. You know what I mean? Actually, this was a part 2. You know what I mean? Because he was gonna pull up the first time on my joint was going dead, and then he was having StreamYard issues. So this really was the part 2. So we definitely gonna get a part 3. Y'all already know that. You know what I mean? Y'all already know that. You did. That's a fact. So again, appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. Rocking out with your boy 050 Bucks, aka Mr. Shoot Right Back, aka Mr. 10453, aka $1 Billion Bucks, aka Mr. AKA. And y'all already know that. It's your boy 050 Bucks, aka Mr. Shoot Right Back. And you know that.